Hello YouTube, this is Jessica from STEM APKs. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue where we left off in the last tutorial. As you remember, in the last tutorial, I showed you how to use this application in order to start capture of tags, and I show you how to scan credit cards, how to scan different credit cards. As you can see, I show you how to create tags, and this is just the Amex. You saw all of this in the last tutorial. I'll also show you how to start creating your own cell tags from scratch, and the way you do it, they will, once you create them, you can view them in the database, right? So it will become here, and I show you how to do that. If you haven't watched my last tutorial, go and watch it. In this tutorial, what we're going to do is how to link this database with Google Drive, because remember, we are sharing a file with our mobile app that we is running on Android or iOS. I show you how to do that in the others playlist, and we're incorporating that mobile app with this stationary desktop app. So in order to do that, we have to link one file that is going to be common for both applications, the mobile and the stationary. And that's what we're going to do, because you're going to be able to go here and you're going to be able to go to Google Drive, and you export the database. And as you can see, I already set it up where everything that once I create something, it goes into a database, and if I open my Google Drive, you can see that it's synced. And if I look at it, this is just the one that it was just updated, and it's synced with my Google Drive automatically. In order to do this, you have to have a Google Drive desktop, like I have right here. You can see in the bottom here, and that way it does it automatically. And I'm going to show you the file that makes that possible, because you want that to happen right away once it's well, let me show you. The first thing we need to do is open this file right here, and I'm going to go over this file because this is what is the magic that does all the things in the background. And let me go from the beginning. And what it does is, let me go here, all the way here. This is our two files. It's the file sync file and a Google Drive sync file. And they're both ROS files. As you know, this is a ROS application. It's multi-platform. You can run it on the Mac like I am now, or you can run it on Linux, Raspberry Pi, all of that good stuff. So the way we do it is, first, we use Notify, the watcher. It's basically, this is a trait for file system notification services. It's a really cool stuff. It can be uh, run in recursive mode. That is basically an enum that is specify if watching should be recursive or not. If you include it, it's recursive. The bounce event, that's basically is an event type for file system events. If you watch my other tutorials, we went over event handling, and this is also similar to it. Watcher is the function that creates a new watcher. The MPSC, we saw that in the other tutorials. Basically, here we create a multi-producer, single consumer channel that basically this allows the importing of that channel function. Look at it that way. Here, time, we're going to have duration, and I'll show you that. This is how we bring it from the standard library. Path and path buffer basically imports the path and path buffer for working with files and system paths. FS, file system, chrono, time, standard thread, that's basically we're going to be spawning a thread that runs in the background that watches everything. This is done through here. And of course, we're bringing the inventory UI, which is this inventory UI create, where is it? Where is it? It's right there. So we're bringing the mod rs and we're using this. Okay, this is where that's coming from, and that's what that is. Here basically is we create this struct, and basically it's a directory for watch for new files, process path. It moves successfully between process files. Error path for those files that cannot be processed. This is where that is happening. So running is a boolean, whether it's a flag indicating whether the sync service is running or not. This is the implementation for the file sync. It's right here, as everything is being implemented. This will create the directories if they do not exist. This is, we're using file system to create them. And here, basically doing path to string for each one of them. Whether right now is running is false, as a default value, until we change it here to make it true. Here starts to make sure that if self is running, files is going to let you know that it's running, and I will show you that when we get there. And this one here is going to check to make sure for existing files, because remember, when we open this here, it gives you the option to check for import files and also import from the database and export to the database. And that's what's making is asking basically, checking to see if there are existing files in the import directory. And if they are, it will move them to the pending directory, and that's what's happening there. Here is sets up the file watcher to monitor the import directory for new files and notify the main thread when a new file is detected. That's what's happening here. Here is creating a sender and a receiver. It basically creates a new channel that's going to communicate with the watcher thread that is running in the background. This transmits, this receives, or sends and receives, making a cloning it. Here is where we're spawning the thread to create the sender and receiver channel. And all of that this is where the time comes in for the duration. And this is what I was telling you earlier. This is running on recursive mode. It's watching for new files, and then it enters a loop, a continuous loop, where it's basically running, and it's going to be telling you whether, uh, basically think of it this way. It enters an infinite loop, and it waits for the file system events from the watcher. That's basically what's happening here. It's watching for these events. And as you can see, and that's what's happening here. It's going to map it, and it allows for a small delay to ensure that the file is fully written before it moves on, and it notifies the main thread about the file. Okay. It returns the receiver to the main thread so it can start over again and start processing new files. Should process file. This new method here gets all the pending files from the import directory that have not been processed yet. And this new method here will process the file by moving it to the process or error directory. And it's going to put a timestamp for each one so you know when they were done. And here's letting you know where the destination path is, whatever you determine to be that path. And this is the function here method that is going to check for all import files. And that's what I was just showing you here when we do this one right here. So right now there are no files to import. And basically that's much it for this function. This is the heart of the file sync synchronization system, and this is the Google Drive part. It's basically bringing path and path buffer also from the standard, just like we did the other one, file system. Input output from the standard library, Chrono, same thing we did before. Oh, by the way, I haven't shown you the cargo toml. This is what the toml file should look like to make sure. We have full tick, of course, Chrono, of course, SERDI for the serialization and deserialization. Rust Lite, we're using a database component, so this is basically is using SQLite through Rust, through the Rust-Lite crate. Notify, because we're being notified for all the everything that is being notified, basically. Lazy static, we saw that before, and one cell also works together to make sure this actually is for the other stuff. Unless we'll talk about these two when we get there. But that's basically what's happening from the crate. This is the G drive sync. That's basically where the sync folder, whatever folder you decide. In this case, this is my sync folder. Let me show you. This is the sync folder right there. That's what that is asking for, is export database exported to the Google Drive sync folder. You choose that file, and all you need to do is, what I did, I created a file on my desktop. Let me just show you really quick here. And let's see actually, I can just show you here. I thought I put it here. Oh yeah, there it is, Google Drive. So then I just created this, oops, Google Drive, and there it is. So everything just gets dumped into there, and whatever is in that directory is gonna get synced with Google Drive, and that's what's happening here with the sync folder. And that's what's happening, all the magic. Here we'll add the export database function method or method in order to export the database to a JSON file, because these are all JSON files, as you can see. So it makes it a lot easier, cleaner. This chrono crate to generate a timestamp for each one of the files. As you can see, there's the timestamp is 11 March 11 of 2025. That's what's happening there. It creates it for each one, so you know if you want to go back and change something, or you don't know where it came from, you can go back and see it. And here's writes the JSON data to the file. And basically here it imports the latest database to import the latest JSON file from the sync folder. It just goes through all of them and imports the latest from the database from that folder that I just showed you. Here it imports the latest file. Here it lists the sync files, and then we sort through them through the file system, and by modify time and return the list. And that's what that goes on, and that's how it's done. And then you are able to have this nice thing here with the notifications and also the activity, and you can see it keeps track. It lets you know that it's being synced or not, and you don't even have to, once you do it, you only do it once, and once it's done, it gets synced. And I'm going to do that also for the mobile app that I'm running, for the Android app. I'm also going to do the same on the TypeScript, JavaScript code. But we'll do that in another tutorial. This is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please click the like box, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time with another tutorial. Take care.